Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Nikitinaknits. My name is Evgeniya and in this video I'm speaking about summer knitting patterns that were released in the May of 2026. Usually I create two separate videos per month. One is just seasonal pattern roundup inspiration and the second video I usually release is new knitting patterns from the ongoing month. But May is quite special because all of the new knitting patterns that I liked ended up being summer appropriate or actually summer knitting patterns. But meanwhile, after this video, you can enjoy my entire playlist with summer knitting patterns and summer yarn videos. So you can get some inspiration which yarn to use, what pattern to use, because last year I was so excited about summer knitting and I created so many videos on that. So with that being said, grab your knitting, grab your favorite drink. Today I'm having some chamomile tea with cinnamon. And let's begin with some gorgeous summer knitting patterns that were released in the May of 2026. The first one is B Top by PetiteKnit, and when I saw her designing it, I immediately fell in love because of the minimalistic design and the beautiful shaping. It actually reminds me of Sabai top, and that is a very popular pattern, and many years already, each single summer, many knitters knit that top. But while I was attracted to Sabai top shaping, it was a bit too dramatic for me. So I was looking for a pattern that would be still following that type of shape, like a very beautiful, elegant boat neck and beautiful shaping in the armholes, and also minimalistic at the same time, but less dramatic. And quite a few years, there was not such a perfect design. And when I saw PetiteKnit designing this, I was like, yes, this is a pattern I'm going to be knitting for sure. And that is the alternative to Sabai top in my personal taste. So I'm completely in love with this top because you can wear the bra, I think, with this top for sure. And I usually prefer bra-friendly tops. This is so much less pain for me to wear in the summer. It has quite a good coverage, but it's also quite elegant because it opens up the neck and the bones, and the shaping is quite beautiful. There's enough depth at the back. There is very beautiful shaping in the front line, not just like a straight cut that is quite often in the boat neck constructions. I can see myself wearing this top with absolutely everything. It is so versatile. This is a DK weight project, and I'm usually not a fan of DK weight projects, so I'm still dreaming and in search for the pattern of this kind that is going to be released in light fingering weight, but it doesn't happen yet. So I'll probably compromise for that and still need this item. This is 20 stitches per 10 centimeters gauge in 4mm needles, and you knit it bottom up. But first let's speak about the yarn and then the construction. The recommended yarn is Easier Trio 2, which is a blend of linen, viscose, and I guess a bit of cotton, or I'll put the contents on the screen. I quite like this yarn. I've touched this in the yarn shop. I never knitted with this, but I saw items knitted with this and I saw the actual yarn. I would definitely go with this yarn because I want to try it, and it has beautiful colors, not so bright, a little bit muted, very deep, interesting colors in the collection. It also has quite uneven texture, but in the fabric it does create a very beautiful stockinette, which I enjoy. And everything is beautiful about this yarn, and I've never tried it, so why not? And now the construction, it is knitted bottom up, and this is quite unusual from PetiteKnit. Most of her new designs are top down, but I am knitting leaf blouse right now from Moroccan Knit, and it is knitted top down in a similar construction. Similar in the sense that it also has the boat neck and it has the shoulder slope. So there you have a lot of pain by cutting a lot of ends and knitting a few pieces separately. It's not like a lot of pain, but you need to be more experienced knitter or intermediate knitter to have patience and to know how to knit short rows and everything. And it is way easier to make such shaping bottom up. So my guess why she went for the bottom up construction and not top down is just not to overwhelm people and not to scare beginners. So the way you knit it is you start at the bottom, you reach to the armholes in the round, and then you split for front and back panels, and you knit back and forth, already shaping the armholes and shaping the neckline. Then when you're done with that, you're doing the same with the back, and the back also has a very beautiful proper shaping. I really enjoy that. And in the end, you're seaming up the shoulders. That gives you a way more sturdy wear experience because you're having a seam here instead of just the cast on edge. And that is very important for the plant-based fibers and for the items that are going to be washed many times during the season, because this is a summer project. Gorgeous pattern that is going to be for sure on my needles next year, not this year, because I have plenty of projects right now. And I'm already so excited to see plenty of versions knitted by you. All right, the next one is BonBon Cardi by Mir Knits. So this is the second version of this cardigan. Last year she released a short sleeved version, and I don't know if there are any major changes in the construction, but this cardigan looks slightly different than the one that she released last summer that also became extremely successful, and I've seen so many beautiful versions. And this year she released the long sleeve version, and it was quite a long time in testing, and I was just looking and waiting for the pattern to be released, and I'm so in love. This is just the implementation of femininity, beauty, airness and lightness and warmth at the same time in just one piece. We have a beautiful eyelet motif that is going on across the whole cardigan. We have a wavy reaped edging that is looking extremely gentle and not overwhelming to the eye. It actually looked like lace from the first time, but then I looked, it's just the ribbon that is knitted in the wave motif. And overall, I can't stand it. It's so beautiful. I can clearly see myself wearing this cardigan with a linen dress or viscose dress or silk dress, all types of dresses, blouses, tops. It could be casual look, like more sporty, let's say jean, shorts, top, and the cardigan on top. So many different versions, and I think these cardigans are perfect for summer because we have a lot of air cycling through the cardigan thanks to the V-neck and the eyelet motif. And it is a sport weight project, and it's actually knitted in merino wool, so it's not so hot and overwhelming and not so heavy. So you can easily pack it in your bag and always have it with you whenever it becomes a bit windy or cool. So by the way, this is a Korean designer, and I'm just a big fan of Korean designs. Last year I created a video with summer patterns only from Korean designers because they're so talented, and I guess their climate allows them to be so expressive with their patterns. And overall they have this very interesting feminine taste to their creations. That's why I created like a separate video about them, and there's so many designs that I'm still dreaming about. So take a look at that video. It is very nice. By the way, all the links to the videos I'm speaking about are going to be down below under the video. Now let's speak about the yarn and the construction. The recommended yarn is de Rare Nature Ulysse, which is a French brand, and I actually have the entire box of sample yarns from them, and I'm so excited to swatch each one of them because this was my dream to try them all. Finally I can do that, and I'm in love with their yarns only by touching, only by feeling the texture, seeing the colors, and reading about them in their website makes me already fall in love with the brand. So if you don't know this brand and you want to try it, I definitely suggest so. Ulysse is 100% merino wool. It is quite textured, it is woolen spun, and it results in quite a textured stockinette fabric, but visually overall it creates a very even fabric. So that is a very beautiful balance between the texture and the wooliness that we can feel, and the very beautiful stitch definition still. But as I already said, it does have texture to that, and it doesn't shine like very smooth merino wool, I don't know, like Sunday by Sadness Garden would do. It doesn't create like a luster, shiny finish of merino wool, if you know what I mean. Regarding the softness, it is in the middle. It's not like super soft merino, but it's not scratchy towards your skin, so I guess most people can tolerate it, even me with my sensitive skin. So I would definitely, of course, go with this yarn, and the color selection is just gorgeous. I'm so in love. And now about the construction, it is knitted top down. You start at the back panel, forming the shoulder slopes, knitting back and forth. After that, you're picking up stitches for the front panels, one by one. First right panel, knitting the increases with the V-neck and shaping the armhole to the underarms. Then you're doing the same for the left side. Then you connect 3 pieces together in one piece and knitting them back and forth until your desired length, quite comfortable. So when you're done with that, you pick up stitches for the sleeves all around, and you start forming the sleeve cap with short rows back and forth, creating a beautiful shaping, and then knitting in the round completely to desired length. length. Beautiful, gorgeous pattern that is not going to leave my head until I actually have it in my wardrobe. It is absolutely gorgeous. All right, are you ready for the next one? It is a piece of art, in my opinion. It is just absolutely insane. So it is Palahi top by Esti Juango. They designed it that I've never knitted anything from, but I see a lot of finished objects that inspire me. And when I saw this top being released, I said, oh my God, why there is not enough time, why I cannot knit it all. I'm really in love with the lace motif because when I'm looking at it, it is just so harmonious and so beautiful and just asks me to keep staring at it. And I think it's very personal. It maybe creates some associations with some flowers or plants, and overall the feeling that I'm feeling from this top is that it's going to be extremely breathable. So if you live in a very hot place and you're having very hot summers like we have here in Spain, this top is absolutely amazing. And if you knit it with the proper yarn that is going to be easy to wash and that is going to be not so tired from many washes, this is a perfect project. So this top does grab a lot of attention towards itself, and I think this top performs the best in the light colors like cream and white colors, or maybe light gray or light golden colors. I don't personally love so much this top in a dark color because I think it hides a lot of work that you've done, hides a lot of lace motif, and this top is going to take a lot of time because it's a light fingering weight project. So I guess this top deserves to be shown correctly, and the light colors are the best for that. And again, I can see this top with a lot of different outfits: shorts, skirts, linen trousers, linen skirts. So what about the yarn choice? Light fingering weight, 21 stitches in the lace motif per 10 centimeters, and the recommended yarn is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, which is a light fingering weight, and it is 100% burette silk. Burette silk is not the type of silk that we usually used to. It is very matte, very textured silk, and I guess it's created from the leftovers of silk, and it even forms little balls on top of the fabric as you keep wearing it and keep knitting with this, because I do have the whole item knitted in pure silk from Knitting for Olive, and this is the effect that it has. It's very lofty fiber that doesn't even feel much like silk, but it's interesting, it's very special. So I personally don't have much love towards burette silk. I've tried it once. It is a very popular yarn and it is absolutely worth it and it deserves its attention, but it's not my thing. I don't like the matte texture. I don't like the uneven texture overall, and I don't think I would ever repeat anything in burette silk, not only from Knitting for Olive but from any brand. So I guess if that's your option, if you like burette silk, this is a perfect, of course, yarn. Knitting for Olive has a beautiful reputation, but I would go with something else. I really want to try Arctic Pearl from Pasquale. It has exact same meterage. It is also light fingering, but it has different contents and different texture. The structure of the yarn is actually chain, it is not spun, and that allows a lot of air and breathability through the fiber, also extreme lightness. And the contents of the yarn is 100% lyocell from sea cell that is produced or fiber is collected in Austria. I don't remember exactly, but it is in Europe. The color selection is also so gorgeous, and I think this top is going to be absolutely beautiful with this yarn, because lyocell is a very drapey fiber, extremely drapey, I would say, and pure silk is also very drapey fiber. So I guess there is not much risk to substitute the yarn if you want, because we're going to achieve the same quality. And if you want to try Arctic Pearl, you can use 10% discount because I'm affiliate partner of Pasquale's brand. And if you buy anything from Pasquale through my link, you're getting automatically applied 10% discount on anything in your cart. And if the discount is not applied automatically, you can use the code inserted at the checkout, and the code is going to be also listed down below together with a link. Enjoy. And now finally the construction. We're knitting this on 3.25mm needles, top down. You're starting at the back panel, forming the whole back with armholes as well. After you're done with that, you're picking up stitches on the right front, increasing for the neck, already forming the lace motif, doing the same for the left, connecting here at the neck, knitting all down to the armholes, connecting together with the back panel and knitting the top down to your desired length. Amazing that we can try the garments and actually block it and see how the yarn grew or didn't grow, how we like it. Very nice when it's top down as well. And the armholes actually have an I-cord finish that is actually nice and prevents from stretching. So the whole pattern is quite smart, quite well designed, really well tested, and I've never knitted from this designer, but I'm only looking forward, especially for this top. For the next one, I'm going to pick up my Chamomile Tee because we're going to speak about Chamomile Cardigan by Knitmate. And Knitmate is a Korean designer that is quite new to the knitting world. I mean, releasing patterns, at least in English-speaking community. And last year I saw one of her first designs and I immediately included her in my June knitting pattern releases last year. Check that video out as well. The link is going to be down below. That pullover blew my mind and I still dream about it. It's so beautiful. I will knit it for sure. So now we speak about the cardigan. First of all, I want to say that this Korean designer is very smart. I think she has some sort of background, or she's just a very smart designer, because the attention to detail, the shaping, the proportions, the writing style, the linked tutorials, video tutorials to her patterns are making me think that she either has experience or she's just very amazing. So I'm becoming a fan of her, even though I didn't need anything from her yet, and I'm just looking forward. So she created this gorgeous cardigan, light fingering weight, 28 stitches per 10 centimeters, so it is extremely thin fabric. And if you know me, I'm a big fan of thin needles and thin fabrics because it creates incredibly polished look. All of the details, all of the stitches are so tiny and that you don't really notice big stitch definition like it is a store-bought piece. And while some people don't prefer that, they still prefer the rough handmade look. I'm completely on the other side. I like the store-bought look and I like very polished details. And when it comes to crew neck cardigans, I'm very picky about this specific zone where the button band meets the neckline, because depending on the yarn, the way it's constructed, where the button is placed, the finishing of the neck, depending on all of these details, it can look quite messy. Or it can look good at the first place, right after you finish the project, but after 1 month of wearing it, it just becomes messy. Look at this one. This is insane. She thought of every single angle at this area, I think. So here at the neck we have fox stitch or fox seam that she's calling. I don't know if it's created with double knitting or it is a welt stitch that is also creating the seam. Don't know exactly what she was using there, but there is a video tutorial to that. And I guess you're creating this right after you knit the whole cardigan. You pick up stitches here at the neck and then you're knitting the fox seam and then the ribbing. And we're having the double knitting button band that is meeting absolutely perfectly here with the ribbing. And I love it. It looks very beautiful. And the whole cardigan is quite a fitted garment, but you can still feel some air right under your body and some place for a t-shirt or maybe even a thin long sleeve. And the shoulder seam is not like sucking your arm in, but it's right at the edge between the body and the arm. So all of the proportions of this cardigan were really well thought. And this is something that I really enjoy because this cardigan is very light, quite small. So it means it's fitting in your summer bag very easily. You can take it to the beach, you can take it on a date or just for the evening walk. And it is going to be warm, it is a crew neck, but it's going to be very light and breathable still. In the bottom we have the opening if we wish, or we can close it completely. And that is also a very beautiful detail to the whole fit. And I think it's a very cute vintage cardigan overall, but with some modern adjustments. So very beautiful. And now about the yarn. It is knitted with Drops Flora. And I'm not such a big fan of Drops yarns, but Flora has a very nice reputation. I like the contents of it. I like the texture. I guess it's the blend of wool and alpaca. And I think it's somewhere in between fingering and a sport weight fabric. So it is not a light fingering weight because a lot of people, I guess, will want to replace this yarn with Knitting for Olive Merino because Knitting for Olive Merino is a very beautiful yarn and it's very popular, but I think it's quite light for this project. I think it's better to knit this project with sport weight or light sport weight if you wish. So if you enjoy Drops Flora, I think it's a beautiful option. The color selection is just gorgeous and it is very, very affordable. And the drape is quite beautiful because of alpaca, but it's not too drapey because of the wool. As for me, I would like to go with something else. I would like to actually try to hold 2 strands of La Manna Milano held together. La Manna Milano is a very, very thin thread. I guess it's lace thread or very, very light fingering. I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen, the meterage. And it is 90% super light merino wool and 10% cashmere. So the reason why I want to try this yarn, because I saw quite a few projects using this specific yarn combination with 2 strands of Milano. I don't know where this idea came from, but it really attracts me, and I think it will create a very beautiful even stitch definition. But at the same time, the threads are going to be quite sticky to each other because La Manna is carded wool and it's very, very plush, soft fiber. The construction is very similar to what we spoke before in the previous patterns. You start at the back, knitting the back panel back and forth, then doing the right front, already increasing for the neck and knitting the front panel down. The same for the right, connecting 3 panels, knitting the whole cardigan down, picking up stitches at the armhole, doing a lot of short rows, forming a gorgeous, gorgeous shape of the sleeve. That is not so easy to do, I'm telling you, because I've tried so many times to do this type of shaping for the sleeve cap, and you need a lot of experience and a lot of tries and errors before you actually succeed and create something beautiful. So this shaping looks just perfect. So you shape the sleeve, you knit them down, and then you do the finishing here and the neck, and finally doing the double knit bottom band. The design includes video tutorials for all of the complicated moments, and I have a feeling that it's quite a good experience. I've never knitted anything from her, but I think she's really good. The next one is my Dotline Top by Norgardknitters. I've been eyeing a lot of designs from this specific designer, and I want to knit quite a few patterns from them, but I've never knitted anything yet, but I did hear good reviews. So in the very end of May, they're releasing a very beautiful top. Again, boat neck, but way more high and way more wide than the B top from PetiteKnit from the first pattern. Beautiful armhole shaping that is actually covering again the bra, that is very important to me, and has a perfect length because it's not going to be exactly under your armpit, so you sweat in the top, but it supposedly should cover the bra. Of course, depends on the proportions. We have all different lengths of the torso, so I suggest to try on the top and maybe even block it before joining 2 panels together, so you can see if you can cover your bra, if that's also important to you. And of course, we have these gorgeous stripes that attract my attention so much, and I would prefer way less contrast as I usually do. I would maybe pick light blue color of the main top and maybe the white stripes, or cream or beige color of the top and then the white stripes as well. And the thick stripe we have here right at the top of the neck. So the top has quite a high seating. That's something to pay attention to, because if you're the person who is feeling choked or tight in this type of constructions, maybe this top is not so much for you, but I think I will be fine with this top. I would just need more pictures from maybe testers, if there are any testers, or more pictures from the designer to see exactly where the neckline is sitting, but it looks beautiful as for now, as from the pictures that I see. And it is again the DK weight project, knitted with Esti Trio 2, but this time held together with a lace thread, which is Esti Mulberry Silk. I've never tried this yarn. I don't know if it's a new yarn. I've never seen it before, or maybe I forgot, but this is something very interesting, and that grabbed my attention so much. So I would use this specific combination. There's no gauge mentioned yet, but it will be for sure in the pattern when it's released. I guess it should be around 20 stitches per 10 centimeters, maybe on 4mm needles again. And we're holding these 2 yarns together. I would go with this yarn combination. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm so excited to see how the fabric looks and feels in real life. So the construction is knitted top down. That's what I could see from the pictures, but since the pattern is not released yet, I don't know exactly how it's knitted step by step, and sometimes designers don't even say how it's knitted step by step. But I don't think there's anything complicated. You probably need the back panel first, so with some short rows at the top to shape the neckline, then the front panel and connect two panels together, knit everything in the round down, and doing the finishing and the armholes. Or maybe the finishings are already knitted together with fabric. We don't know yet. And the last pattern for today is Kauri Tee by Skeinny Dippin. And the designer that I've never knitted anything from, but I got really attracted to this t-shirt. What I like about this t-shirt is a very deep V that I appreciate so much, and the V is very softly shaped, so it's not like a plain sharp triangle down, it's not like a square scoop, but it's something in the middle. I really appreciate those very tiny details. There are plenty of V-neck t-shirts out there and sweaters, but every shaping is different, and every shaping and proportion creates completely different feeling and look. So I'm that type of person who likes deep V's, not at the point that you can see my bra obviously, but open neck is something very beautiful. And at the same time, the shoulder shaping looks very nice, and the increases are shaped correctly. Not correctly, but according to my taste. So I really like this t-shirt, and I like that you can make a summer version with a short sleeve, and with the same pattern you can make a winter version with a wool yarn, because the weight is a DK weight project. The whole t-shirt doesn't have a lot of positive ease. It is quite a fitted t-shirt, but still with enough air going through your body for you to not get too hot and uncomfortable in it. And I find it a very casual t-shirt that I would just wear to the grocery shopping, to wear every day, maybe even in my house, maybe just hang out on my terrace in the summertime. Also depends, of course, on the yarn choice that you're going to make, but I see this t-shirt as a very basic piece that you can just grab every single day during the whole summer, and maybe even knit a few pieces, because it is a very fast project. 18 stitches per 10 centimeters, and the yarn weight has two options. The first option is called DMC Eco Vita Recycled Cotton, which is a worsted weight. And the second version is Rowan Cotton Revive, which is a sport weight version. So I don't know exactly what she knitted her sample with, but it does look like she used a worsted weight yarn. So I guess the Cotton Revive would create a more open gauge, or any sport weight yarn would create open gauge. But I have something else in mind. I have Rowan Soft Yak DK in mind. And I spoke about this yarn in one of my summer yarns suggestions from the previous video, from the last year, the one that you can find in the playlist. So this yarn has 76% cotton, 15% yak, and 9% nylon. I guess nylon is this chain that is filled with yarn. And this yarn is machine washable, which is incredible, on the wool cycle, obviously. The way you knit this t-shirt is top down. This is a contiguous saddle shoulder construction, where you increase at the same time both for the front and for the back as you're forming the shoulders, and then you keep on knitting back and forth, already increasing for the sleeves just like in the raglan, and increasing for the v-neck. After you're done forming the v-neck, you connect everything in the round, splitting for sleeves, knitting your body down, and doing the finishings of your item. So very simple, beautiful construction that I actually enjoy, because it creates even amount of fabric in the front and in the back. And this type of construction really fits my personal body type, so I'm really looking forward to have this on my needles one day. So I hope you enjoyed the whole roundup. Let me know what you picked from the list and what is on your needles right now, because probably you are already knitting some summer projects, or maybe you're still knitting something warm. Anyways, let me know, because I really enjoy going through the comments and read the section. Thank you very much for watching and for being here, and I'm hoping to see you soon in my next video.